model 1200 from Winchester. Is that a pretty gun or what? Haven't seen that, have you? Not around the compound. Hasn't been around the compound for a long time. I always like these. This has a great grip on it. Just feels really good in your hand. Kind of a classic in a way. They don't make it anymore. Started making it in about 64 to replace the classic Model 12. It's kind of a lower priced version of that in a way. And this is the Defender model that has the longer magazine. They had a Riot model, they had a Defender model, like a police model and all that, and then just your standard 1200 that, you know, people went and hunted birds with or whatever. So that's what this is. It's a 1200. I'm shooting 7.5 just bird shot here out of this. And they were used in Vietnam, in fact, in 68, 69, long through there. You know, they're just, you know, this kind of configuration. There's a military configuration, had a bayonet lug and heat shield and all that. But it reminds me a little bit of the Mossberg. Has an alloy receiver and has kind of a feel of the Mossberg in a way. But pretty nice gun. Whoa. That's what I was hoping for. Nice. Nice. Let's aim again. Pretty little fountain. I short shucked it. Now that tells you birdshot is, yeah, I wouldn't want to be hit by it. But then again, once you get any distance, it wouldn't break that pot out there. Now they make those pots, if you didn't know, they're pretty stiff. They're not just ready to fall apart. It's time for something bigger, like a slug. All right, now let me tell you a little bit about this gun. You know, I've been into firearms a while. This firearm, you haven't seen it around. I bought this gun in either 1973 or 1974. I was just out of college. I lived in an apartment for 2 years before I built my first house. And I know it had to be 73 or 74 because I built a house in 75. Could have been early 75. I think it was 70, because no, I remember having this thing when I lived in the apartment for quite a while. So I was probably 74, would be my best guess. And this was my gun. Before this gun, I bought a high standard, just like it. It was called Riot Gun. And by the way, that's what we called them back then, back in the day. In the 70s, we called them Riot Guns. You know, you don't hear me people. In fact, some of them had that on the barrel. That's what their model was. The high standard I had was actually a Riot model, and they make one of these, or made one called the Riot model. Isn't that funny? How things change, times change. But that's back in the day when we would sit around gun shops and argue about which was better, Colt or Smith & Wesson. It was like there was nothing else out there. Partly because there wasn't a lot, you know, at least on most people's radar and in a lot of gun shops. But well, interesting. So I bought this, and I'll tell you one reason I bought that first one. I bought it in 73 or 42. Bought them both around the same time. I found this one after I bought the high standard, and I just liked it better. It was smoother, just a nice gun. And then I sold the high standard. And see, if it were today, I would have kept them both, right? You can never have too many. But I traded or sold it and got this one. And I know what what precipitated that. I made the mistake of putting slugs in here. Keep track of what I'm doing. Safety's on. I made the mistake of going to see the movie, probably. It came out in 72. The Getaway with Steve McQueen and Ali McGraw, and it was a Sam Peckinpah movie. If you've seen that original, The Getaway, there's been a sequel made to it, or another version of it rather. But there was some really cool shotgun action. In fact, it was, I think, a high standard that they used in that movie, just like the one I had bought. I didn't know it at the time. I just wanted a shotgun that had this kind of capacity, because you went into a gun store back in, or sporting goods store back in the early 70s. You didn't see racks full of things like this. You might not see any, or you might see one. They just were not as common, you know, mostly hunting shotguns. And, you know, I just thought they were so cool. And when Steve McQueen shot up those cars and had that double-aught buck flying down the hallway, and oh man, I thought, you know what, that's like an Uzi. I've got to have one of those. So yeah, I admit it, that's what did it. And I had a lot of fun with it, really did. So this was mine. And I think the first few months we moved out here, my father-in-law was down and he wanted something in home defense. And I had a bunch of guns by that time and different things. And he liked this so much, I just sold to him for, meager amount. And so he has had it all that time. He passed away, and it's been with some of his boys and things. And anyway, so my brother-in-law was down this weekend, and I brought it down to shoot. And so we're going back up there in a few days. So I just kept it for a few days. So it's kind of neat to have it back at the compound. It has had a 28-year absence from the compound. In fact, I guess I shot it out here a few times back when we first moved out here. But it's been away for a long time, so it's kind of neat to have it back, and I thought I'd show it to you. So this gun has a lot of history, definitely, with me. Let's put one in. Got safety on. Let's wrap one in and fill it up here. I think it holds 6 in the tube, and take some more shots with it. All right, we got slugs here now. Got my extender, and we've got a refrigerator that quit working. You might have seen that in the AK video, the C39 video. Still there. Let's see if a slug will go through that. Oh, I think it will. Whoa! I didn't expect it. Be shit. You know what? I'm short shucking this thing. I'm gonna have to get used to it again. Boy, those things kick. Let's try a 2-liter. You think a slug will take out a 2-liter? Not unless there's one in there. That thing must be lighter than I remember. It really whops you hard. Let me put a couple more slugs in. Let's top it off. Safety on. Okay. That's a lot of power, I tell you. These are rifled slug, 2 3/4 mag. Oh, no wonder. 2 3/4 mag. Well, thank you, Federal. They want to see me having shoulder surgery, don't they? No, we're glad to get that power. I thought those seemed a little hotter than normal. Okay, let's see if it'll take out a 2-liter. Now I've got to hold down a little bit, I noticed. Wow, that is some power. Oh, there's a jug right there. We might as well take this one out since we got these nuclear weapons in here. Whoa! Oh boy. Let's try one on the gong. I have no idea where to hold, and it doesn't really have good sights. No, I smell detergent on there. Wow. I can't see. Oh man, can't see or hear where it's going. Let's try this water thing here. I'll tell you what, that has some force behind it.